Hello everybody, my name is Kanami and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we are going back a bit. Okay, so, previously on the unboxing, probably, I'm hoping to release this fairly concurrently to its recording date, so hopefully it's closer for you than it was for me. But previously, on the unboxing and in my top 15 video, we took a look at the SH Figuarts Zoro from the Raid on Onigashima. And this figure was disappointing. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised if you've seen literally any other review of it from anybody, but this figure's kind of hit or miss. It's full of weird design decisions that overall hinder the figure more than it helps it. It just makes it such a disappointing figure, especially for such an active character like Zoro. Who I do enjoy. He's not my favorite Straw Hat by any means, but I really enjoy him in the One Piece cast, and he makes for some great action scenes that you just don't really get a chance to recreate because of the way this figure specifically is designed, which I think is annoying. But anyways, today we're going to hopefully fix that, because today for the unboxing, we're taking a look at a pair of cloth-based upgrade parts for your Zoro. I bought these on, eBay. There are a bunch of places to get it. I'll see if I can link one in the description below. But if I forget, I'm sorry. These should be easy enough to find. Just look for upgrade parts for your SH Figuarts Zoro. I found them to be like 20 bucks or so, which is fine, I guess. Just keep that in mind if you're going to buy a Zoro. But anyways, we're going to go over the kind of modifications that you need to make this figure good, which you shouldn't have to make modifications on a figure, especially at this price, to make it good. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in Zoro. Though I'm sure other people have told you about it. So first, the earliest modifications I made were in the shoulders. So the shoulders have an issue where they pop out. They have this issue of popping out, and as you can see, mine don't do that anymore. You see, the problem comes from this part, not the shoulder itself. The shoulder itself is okay. It doesn't allow for a lot of butterfly range, unfortunately, but it's fine. But it's this shoulder cap. For some reason, it was molded to be extremely tight to the torso, which leads to one of two things happening depending on what you just recently did. If you haven't popped off this lower part of the shoulder, the entire shoulder will pop out, which is annoying as hell. However, the other thing that could happen is if you have popped this out and tried to pop it back in, this will just pop out again. Because what it does, essentially, is if it's given the chance, this part, colliding with this inner shoulder butterfly piece, essentially, will push this out a little bit and pop the rest of the arm off. For some reason, this was just molded to be way too tight to the actual shoulder to where it just has no clearance. So the way to solve that is with, a sanding tool and, either a Dremel possibly if you have it, but if not, I've been able to make it work with a basic sanding file and a pair of hobby nippers. Essentially just cut away at this bit on the inside, just intentionally pop it off so you only have this part, not even the shoulder inside, but just this part, and just start nipping away at it and then experimenting a little bit until you get the desired effect where it's able to essentially do this. I've also put a little bit of work into sanding down the shoulder cup part as well, so that it just has that extra bit of range. And now he's able to move his shoulder fairly freely. Obviously, there are still some limitations just because of the way that the figure works, but it's fine. Next up is actually going to start today's little bit of modification, where we are modifying the legs slightly, which I've already done pre-video. So you're going to want to take the torso off. We're done with the torso for now if you've messed with the shoulders. And then we take off this. We'll leave this to the side for now as well. We take these off, and we're not going to need these anymore. All right, so originally the figure had a bit of a crotch plate, and I think I still need to modify this one slightly more, just so that it has extra range. But it looked a lot more like this kind of triangle. What this does is limit the forward range, which leads the legs to pop off inside of the cloak, which is made of two hard plastic pieces, which we'll get to. Because otherwise, these legs are great. They move wonderfully. your standard SHF legs, which move very well. Essentially, what you want to do is take the little triangle at the front and just hack away at it. It's not going to be visible, so it shouldn't really matter. But you just want to hack away at it until it's essentially just a tiny sliver in the middle. I might hack away at this one more at some point. It's not pretty, and it's not meant to be. But that essentially gives you the range that you're going to want eventually when you start doing other modifications, which brings us to the main modification for today, the skirt. Now, as you can see, the skirted piece on the official Zoro is made of these two plastic pieces. Now, I've seen people cut like slits in the side to help add more flexibility, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Because, okay, so for a bit of an example, I'm going to bring over the SHF I unboxed previously, in a previous video, the SH Figuarts Valvorad from Commodore Gotchard, just to show you that, yes, for SH Figuarts, they tend to use a plastic material for the skirting. However, I've found that generally for skirting, it's somewhat lighter than what Zoro has. This is for two reasons. And, like, I'm bringing out Valvorad specifically because he has a lot of layering on his as well. However, as you can see, while his legs are limited, they're still able to move fairly well. Not amazingly so, but enough, you know? However, with Zoro, he was practically entirely traffic coned in, and that's because these are two extremely thick layers of plastic layered on each other, making it practically impossible for him to move, like, at all. Because there's just no flexibility in the way they're designed. It sucks. Let's get these out of the way for a second and replace it with what I would have preferred, a cloth piece. I'm sure a lot of people prefer this. For some reason, Bandai only really likes putting cloth in their, like, premium Cincocho style items. I don't really get it. They can put it in their normal figures, especially the ones that are, like, P Bandai or whatever. But, whatever. Alright, so this is the part I'm less familiar with. This skirt has bendy wire in it. So it's able to pose and get out of the way. The bendy wire is primarily at the bottom, from what I can tell, and the big problem is that it's going to be that the material it's made of is going to look slightly off compared to the rest of the figure. Oh, sorry, Zoro legs. But yeah, you can see there's slightly different sheens, but I'm fine with it. I don't mind too much. But yeah, there's like a Velcro at the top, I'm assuming for like extra room if we need it, but I'm just going to try to slip this on and see how this works. So just slip that on there, and then we're going to want to slip on this, the this. There are cloth versions of the sash as well, but I didn't want to go that hard. I didn't feel too annoyed about the sash itself. And I think it adds a little bit of solidity between the lower torso and the upper torso. And from there we can just, I imagine, there we go, attach the ball joint. And there we go. And now we can fairly easily go out like that. Boom, bazinga, easy as pie. And now we can also just have this attached there. But yeah, like, having just it made out of cloth just helps it in so many different ways. Because, like, the thing with this, it's not just that it's plastic. Again, plastic parts can work theoretically. But, like, the problem is, like, where it hooks up here limits it in both ways, so it just is rigid as hell. So, yeah, I can just leave that there, and, like, it stands up. But, yeah, now we have this skirting piece, which is able to get out of the way in however you want, so Zoro can do whatever cool action poses he wants from the series. You know? And I guess now I'm finally happy with this figure, I guess, because I love One Piece, and I was gonna get this figure either way, because I love SH Figuarts and I love One Piece. But, like, man, this figure was just so disappointing on first blush, and, like, I get it, but, like, also, come on, guys. Like, I can understand this. Like, this, it's standard for SH Figuarts, I can be unhappy about it, but it's something that makes sense. It's something that you get used to when buying SH Figuarts figures, especially with the amount that I've gotten from different lines, especially like Kamen Rider and shit. But the shoulders, man. What the fuck were you doing there? Like, the shoulders were just so poorly designed, and it could have easily been fixed with just some slight changes that I know they're able to do, because they're able to do it on basically every other action figure that they make. I might review Zoro in full at some point, buying a replacement Zoro from the fucking, what's it called? The ones that are showing up at like Targets, the best selection Zoro, which they have out. Using that as like the base Zoro model and then showing off what you can do with it with this. But I just wanted to show me getting this cloth skirt onto Zoro, giving him that nice little bit of upgrade that he really needed. And if you have a Zoro, I definitely recommend doing this if you're willing to pay the price. If you think the price, if you're buying a Zoro, I think you should only buy Zoro if you think the price of the skirt and the figure itself is worth it to you. If you don't think that, don't buy Zoro, because otherwise he's shitty as hell. And, like, you shouldn't have to make modifications like this. And, like, I don't mind. I was able to do it, but you shouldn't have to. And I think that's the takeaway that you should have from this video. There's another Zoro, there's the live-action Zoro, maybe just get that one, I don't know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Doing a little update on a previous unboxing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!